So if you could put your arm around your 16, 17, 18-year-old self and provide financial advice, how different would you be from then until now? Life-changing. And you got to have that never again moment. We were trying to rent a house, and the lady said she wouldn't rent to us because of my poor credit. And I felt like crap, especially watching my father come up. He was the provider. I always wanted to be that person to provide it. At that moment, I felt like I wasn't in a position. So that started the journey.
I can walk down the street and I can see a child with some Balenciagas now. I'm talking about some $600 pair of shoes. Why you got these shoes on but no money in your bank account?
It's because finance is more behaviors than it is numbers. You can teach anybody the numbers. Understanding your why, like why do we spend our money on these things? Having that mirror and putting it up to your face like this, that's where like the impact, that's when like really things really start to change. I will say that I'm walking in my purpose. Every day I get to wake up, I get to do this for a living, and we're going to be everywhere just because this is God's plan. It's not mine.
This is the Keepin It Cleveland podcast.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Keepin It Cleveland podcast. I'm your host, Isaac, and on this podcast, I am highlighting Cleveland's change makers. This is people, brands, organizations, small businesses that are making a positive impact on our community. And on today's episode, I have none other than the Executive Director of Breadwinners Academy, Jason Lockett. What's up, man? Thank you for coming on to the show.
No problem, man. I appreciate you inviting me, man.
For sure, man. So, in my industry, I'm in the video production industry, and I had the chance to meet a lot of small businesses, people, brands, and every single time I meet somebody and I hear what they do, right, it always inspires me to want to share their story. But then I often ask myself, why haven't I heard of these people before? So I said, why not create a platform where we can highlight these individuals and what they're doing to impact our community. So can you kind of tell the people who don't know, who might be in the same boat I was in, about what Breadwinners Academy is and who is Jason Lockett?
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you for that introduction. I appreciate it. So I am Jason Lockett. I am the founder and executive director of Breadwinners Academy. This is a passion project turned nonprofit. We teach financial literacy and entrepreneurship in middle schools, high schools, colleges, community centers across Northeast Ohio. We go as far as south to Columbus, west to Bowling Green, east to University of Pittsburgh. And we essentially pull up to anywhere with anyone that'll lend their ear. This is definitely my passion project. I am a financial planner as well. Born and raised from the city of Cleveland, grew up in the Lee and Harvard area.
Okay.
Spent most of my time there. Of course, I'm a fighting eagle, JFK for life. Definitely. And this is my calling and this is my why is finance through education. So I stumbled upon this about 2 years ago. We turned 2 in June.
Okay, congrats.
Thank you. We are in 15 schools now, primarily in CMSD in the first ring suburbs. And we're going to continue to push and grind until we're across every school in America.
So what was it about finance that got you interested first? Before you got to the nonprofit, what was it about finance that said, hey, you know what, I really want to learn this. And not only do I want to learn this, but I want to teach it to others.
Wow, that's a pretty good question. It's a loaded question too. So my journey in finance started after college. Of course, you graduate college, you get a good job. First thing you want to do is get a new car. That was my thing. I wanted to flex, right? I'm not gonna hold you. I wanted to flex, so I got my job, and I'm living the dream, or the quote unquote dream that was given to us, right, or portrayed to us. So I went to Crest my Cadillac and I tried to buy a car. Okay. And I tried to buy this car and my credit was shot. It was bad, but I didn't know any better. But meanwhile in college, I ran track in college as well. And I developed asthma in my early 20s. And out of nowhere, I developed asthma. So I kept going back and forth to the ER with no insurance. And those medical bills just start racking up and it ruined my credit. So naturally, I didn't get the car. Of course, I didn't get the car. My score was in like the high 400s. Okay. Which it's embarrassing. But I feel like so many people share that same story. And you got to have that never again moment, right? So at this time, I was at Crest my Cadillac and I went through the whole car buying process. Remember back in the day, they used to write the car payments on the windows, on the windshield. Okay. Like $300 down, $300 a month or something like that. So I saw this car and I said, oh, it's mine. It was like a 05 or 06 STS Cadillac, champagne, matching seats, wood wheel, Vogues, rims.
You said you were straight out of college?
Straight out of college, 6 months out of college.
Okay.
Boom. I maybe had...
Still in debt?
Oh, heck yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm not thinking about that right now.
Yeah,
I want
right.
the car.
Right.
So we went through the whole car buying process, and of course I didn't get the car. And the gentleman, man, Mr. Bryson was his name, and he sat me down and we talked for hours about how to fix my credit and how to go about those things. And that was like the first start for me getting into finance. So later on, I got a copy of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, which is very boring and very long, but it tells you the ins and outs about credit and how we actually got there. But that wasn't like my defining moment. And I never shared this with anyone, but I feel like it's time for me to start talking about it. At the time, my fiance, which now is my wife, we were trying to rent a house. And we were at this place in Garfield. And the lady said she wouldn't rent to us because of my poor credit. Cool, we went and looked somewhere else. So we found this house around the corner from where that home was, on Darlington and right by the police station. And we were in the kitchen with the owner of the home, and he had our credit reports. And he says, I'm going to rent to you because I really like your family. I love what you're doing. He said to my wife, Taria, your credit is great. Jason, you owe everyone. And he laughed, my wife laughed, and my son laughed. I think my son was maybe 7, 8 years old. He was just laughing just to be laughing.
Right.
And I felt like crap because as a man, especially watching my father come up, he was the provider. He was the man in the house. And I know dynamics change in homes and things of that nature, but I always wanted to be that person to provide it. At that moment, I felt like I wasn't in a position. So that started the journey for me to get into finance. So I fixed my own credit. I learned how to budget. I became interested in investing. Then that led me going back to school. I got my MBA in finance. Then I got my certificate in financial planning from Howard. I incorporated the Breadwinners in 2016. And it's been magical ever since. And as I'm going through this process of helping people, that little thought in the back of your head, the same one that you had about starting this podcast.
Yeah.
And it kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger until I could no longer avoid it, that I want to be able to share this information with people from my community because we still lack those financial tools. And in order for us to bridge this wealth gap, we're going to have to do it through financial literacy and education.
So let's rewind a little bit. Talk to me a little bit about your upbringing, if you don't mind sharing. Did your parents teach you about financial literacy?
No, that was taboo. That was taboo. I mean, money wasn't something you discussed at the dinner table. That was a no-no, especially for us growing up. Yeah. That was a no-no. I don't know if it was just a thing of respect or disrespect that you don't ask, but you watch it, you notice it. You notice how, your parents robbed Peter to pay Paul. We all been there before. So, and there's no shame in us learning that. Sharing that because we learn through our experiences. And I'm the youngest of 6. Okay. We all watched my parents. They made $1 stretch for us. And we never.
You're the youngest of 6. I'm the oldest of 6.
Oh, that's crazy. And they never went without. We never went without. So having gone through those experiences also helped shape me to where I am today, which is kind of weird because I think about God and I think about the path and thinking about my why and how this all correlates and how it all plays a part of where I am and who I am today.
All right. So fast forward to Breadwinners Academy. I seen you guys when I was, whether it was LinkedIn, Instagram, just social media in general. Where were y'all going? I seen a lot of kids at different places. It looked like it was potentially a bank or something like that.
Yes, man. That's our summer program called Books to Bread. Okay. And Books to Bread is this comprehensive hands-on program. This is our second year doing it. It's a 6-week program we did at John Carroll University. Okay. And we took 25 students from CMSD and the first ring suburbs. So these kids were from like the Maple, Garfield, Bedford, Warrensvilles of the world. And we taught them financial literacy on campus. We provided transportation to and from. We partner with several banks and other organizations and YOU, of course. Each student earned $2,000 from YOU and earned an additional $500 from us. Wow. So in total, in compensation and scholarship, students' work-based learning experience, they earned a little over maybe $55,000-ish that they can use towards college. Some of them bought their first cars. 6 of them bought their first cars. And
talk about impact.
Talk about impact, right?
Yeah.
All of our students open bank accounts as well, and they open up their brokerage accounts through Fidelity. Wow. So each week on Fridays, we call it Field Trip Fridays. So each week we went somewhere because I wanted them to see it in action. So week 1 was all about college readiness. So we did a tour of College Now, went over FAFSA, scholarships, common applications, Let's talk about student loans, subsidized, unsubsidized loans, the parent student loans, because even if you are a CMSD and you're getting the SAYS, that doesn't cover everything. It just covers a portion of it. So it's important, and every kid want to go out of state. I don't know why. We got this big HBCU push. I love it, but it's not cheap going to Howard. It's not cheap going to FAMU or Spelman or Clark. I want you to go, but I also want you to be realistic too. Because if that's the case, I'll go to the Lambo dealer and just drive Lambos out there.
Well,
So week 1 was John Carroll. Week 2 was Erie Bank, because that was about saving and budgeting. Week 3 was Fidelity with investing. And we also went to Crefco Financial. And with Samir and his wife, Darlene, they are amazing people. We did a home buying experience for our students. Walk them through the process of, 1, you got to know your numbers.
Yeah.
Know those numbers. Know what you can and can't afford. And then 2, go through the different processes of looking for a home. So we use like Zillow, we use like Realtor.com and things like that. Understanding your credit. That's super important too. That's like one of the very first steps. Home appraisals. What is that like? We talked about gentrification. We went through renting versus owning. We did some debates. We did a lot of cool things in week 3. Week 4 was all about credit.
Okay.
So we went to Tim Lally Chevrolet in Warrensville.
Okay.
We did a mock car buying experience with them, and they walked through the process.
Each student?
Yes, we walked through the process of how to buy a car.
Yeah.
What to say, what not to say when you trade in your vehicle.
It sounds similar to your situation. So the things that you went through with the house, the car, you couldn't get the car. The house, the first house didn't really work out. The second house did, but you was ashamed of your credit. Your challenges can become their successes.
It's crazy how life works, right?
It from them going through the same thing, having that same shame.
It's crazy how life works. It is insane. That program was created and it was inspired by all of our life experiences.
Yeah, for sure.
So if you could put your arm around your 16, 17, 18-year-old self and provide financial advice, and your 16-year-old self will listen, how different would you be from now until then? From then until now? Life changing. So that's a part of like my why is making this place a better place, because numbers don't lie. Yeah. With the city of Cleveland, we're number 2 behind the city of Detroit with residents with at least 100,000 people in poverty. We're number 2. For youth, we're number 9 in the state of Ohio. We're number 1 in the country with youth at least with 72,000 residents, with 72,000 kids. We are number 1 in the country. So that's every Cleveland-sized city and up, which makes 0 sense. We have every bank in greater Cleveland here in Cleveland. We have so many dope nonprofits here. So it's a matter of just working in unity and working collectively to help figure this thing out for our youth.
What do you think that is from? Two questions. What do you think that is from? And also, why the specific communities that your organizations target? Who do you target?
Yeah, so we target the low to moderate income. So we target, and it's not a race thing. It's more of a culture thing. Yeah, because it's a different world of finance for us. It's totally different. Our communities are plagued with payday loan sharks, check cashing places, furniture rental companies. Why are they still here? I don't get it. Buy here, pay here's. Like, we are plagued with that. We are the center of predatory lending in our communities, and we get taken advantage of every single day. And they just keep popping up out of nowhere, which makes no sense. So I definitely target the low to moderate income communities, and it's whoever lived there. Black, brown, white, I don't care what color you are. That has no bearing on who we target. And we don't turn anyone away as well, but we have our primary focus, which is there. And you think about, like, how did we get here or why did we get here? That's a long story. I mean, you think about redlining, right? And you think about how it was difficult for our grandparents and our great-grandparents to get mortgages on homes. You think about wealth transfers, land, and its insurance. We couldn't get life insurance during that Jim Crow segregation era. No way we were getting life insurance. Yeah. Like the whole, like the full coverage, not full coverage, but you were talking about universal life. We're talking about policies with death benefits and cash values. We couldn't get those. Not up until, I'll say, later on. So you think about the knowledge and the access we didn't have. Yeah. So how do we get here? I hate to say it, man, but it's kind of by design.
Talk to me a little bit about this, right? You said we don't have that knowledge. Yet I can walk down the street and not go too far, and I can see a child with some Balenciagas. Now I'm talking about some $600 pair of shoes, Talk to me about the children that's a part of your program. Do they fit that where it's like, why you got these shoes on but no money in your bank account? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And getting some Balenci's for $6 is light. Like,
yeah, that's light. That's light. That's used.
Yes. And for whatever reason, those Balenci's are the ugliest shoes.
And yeah, they are.
They are the ugliest shoes.
They are.
But I feel it. People get it. It's a status symbol. So of course, they come through our program and they have on the designer and expensive items, but barely have money in their pocket for lunch. So we kind of dive
into that mindset.
Yeah, but we dive deep as well. And this is a quote from Coach B, Bryson. He said that you must connect before you correct. And I took that to heart because one, I was once that kid that used to buy all the shoes.
Yeah.
But you wonder why, you know, and that's the exercises that we do. Those are the exercises that we do to figure out, why do we put so much value on these things? And oftentimes it's to impress somebody else, or it could be, you know, to feel better about yourself. So you're living outside in versus living inside out. So we go through all of these different exercises in our classroom to really dive deep into the emotional part of finance, because finance is more behaviors than it is numbers. You can teach anybody the numbers. It's not hard. And there's software out there that does the planning for you, if I may be honest.
Yeah.
But understanding your why, like why do we spend our money on these things? Having that mirror and putting it up to your face like this, that's where like the impact, that's when like really things really start to change.
So let's dive into that a little bit more with the impact. What have you seen transition wise from the students or the kids that has joined your program mindset? So their mindset, maybe they come in, they probably was forced to join a program. I don't know how it works, but maybe they was like, I don't really know. I'm just here. But then the outcome was greater once they went through the program where they're like, oh, now I really know how to do A, B, and C. I know how to invest. I learned how to open a bank account. I need to be smarter about when I purchase my first car or my home. Yeah. What transitions have you seen where you're like, oh, wow, this program is really impacting my community?
You know, it's every school that we go into, every program that we run. In the beginning, you know, kids they're kind of, you know, standoffish.
Right.
Like, who are you?
Yeah.
I don't want to be here type of deal. But once we figure out how to connect with them, which we do it pretty quickly because of our team is diverse and we're really dynamic. So once we connect with them, then they start to open up. And now we really can find their why. You know, what can we help you with? What's your goals? What's your passions? What do you want to get out of life? So a lot of our success stories end with students buying cars. We literally just graduated our first class going to college, and 6 of them are going on full rides, which some are athletic, but the majority of them, they were just hustlers when it came to filing scholarships. There's tons that are out there, but everybody gets senioritis. And you're like, I'm done. I just want to get out of here.
Yes.
I got my credits. I'm gone. But now they look at, when they do their financial aid and they look at that statement and say, okay, this is the gap that you have to fill. And we sit down and go through that with them. So if you have this $8,000 a year gap or $9,000-$10,000 a year gap, and that doesn't include books, that doesn't include the money you need to stay afloat. Now things become very real and adult-ish for them. So it definitely, buying cars was the biggest thing for me.
Of course.
For me, it is, because that's like their sign of freedom.
Yeah. So I guess my question was, why do you care? Like, what's your why behind, like, why do you care that these kids have to know this? Like, and I know it has to do something potentially with your own upbringing and your own experience, but what is your why behind Breadwinners Academy?
That's a really good question. Well, definitely my why is education. My why is finance through education. That's definitely my why. And I can honestly say to you that what pushes me, what gets me going, is God. I believe wholeheartedly that God is the reason why I'm on this path. And since I believe that, nothing can stop me, nothing or no one. So it may take 6 months, it may take 6 years, but it's going to happen. And we're going to be everywhere just because this is God's plan. It's not mine.
Well, what would you say is next?
For us?
Yeah, because I know the what is it called? Books to Bread. Books to Bread. I know that's over because the summer is over. Kids are back in school.
Yes, sir.
So is there something that you do during the school year?
Oh, yes.
Okay, talk to me about that.
Yes, we do something during the school year. So first and foremost, Books to Bread won Program of the Year for Cleveland Engage.
Congrats.
So yes, sir. Thank you. That's huge for us. I'm super excited about that.
And it's growing too. I'm seeing all them students that you had. I'm like, sheesh, what they got going on?
Yes. So that's great. But in schools, that's where we really get to the masses, to get to all the kids.
Okay.
So in the schools that we are in there per quarter.
Okay.
So 8 weeks. And we take field trips with our students. We take not only field trips, we bring in guest speakers. Every 2 weeks, we'll have a guest speaker just to break the monotony of the classroom, get them moving, get them grooving. Field trips as well. And then our final exam, that's like our hidden gem, one of our hidden gems. So we play a game of Family Feud, and we break them up in teams. And first part of the final exam is written, just like a traditional test.
Okay.
Just because you got to show impact, you got to measure your success and all that good stuff. We want to check those boxes because that's how we get funded. But then we play a game of Family Feud. We break them up in teams, and they'll have about 15 to 20 questions that they'll play. So it can be, what is the 50-30-20 rule, right? So we got a gaming system. They got to hit the buzzer and everything.
Okay.
So they hit the buzzer, then they go back to their team, and they talk for 30 seconds for the answer. If they come back and get the answer right, they win the envelope. If they lose, the other team gets to steal. Now, these kids are playing for anywhere between $500 to $1,000 in real cash.
And real cash.
Real cash.
Y'all heard that, real cash.
So inside the envelopes are it's singles, and we write the dollar amount of the envelope. So the true or false is about $20, and then the questions that are more in depth goes up to about $100. And these kids get very competitive.
Of course, when money on the line, everybody's
very competitive. And it's amazing to us because we get to see, one, our impact, and then two, we get to see how much information they retain. And that's always my moment, like, wow, these kids actually, like how to build credit at 18. That's always our bonus question. And there's steps to building credit at 18. And these kids, bam, 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 because they see the money.
Yep.
They do.
It's motivating them.
It is.
So it's interesting that you say that you said 15 different schools?
Yes.
So because when I was in high school, I didn't graduate too long ago, about 10 years ago, it was no financial literacy that I can remember that was offered in schools. So to hear that certain schools are now, maybe where I was from, it wasn't offered, but to hear that whether it's through working with you, now that schools are beginning to offer that, I think that that's just extremely important. Half of the stuff I felt like I learned in school, I don't use. I know I would have used anything I learned about finances.
Definitely. Personal finance at that.
Right.
Because when you turn 18, the wolves are after
credit cards, all types of stuff.
I give the example all the time. If you were to take out your cell phone and go to Google and punch in, let's say, discover.com or Capital One or any bank, you go on Instagram, I guarantee you'll see a sponsored ad from those banks. And that's what cookies are.
Yep.
Some people just reject them. Some people
think they're watching us.
Some people may accept it just to get them off your screen. But now they follow you. And these kids, for those credit cards, those credit limits range from like $300 to like $3,000. And there's no rhyme or reason as to who gets what and things of that nature. So can you imagine getting a credit card, let's say for $1,000 at 18?
With no knowledge about how to properly use one.
Yeah, it's just numbers to me.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
You look at it almost as free money, but it ain't free.
I'm out of here. And they'll let me get it around prom time. Oh, it's over. It's up. I'm going to Saks immediately. So I don't knock the kids. To me, it's the system. And we just got to, educate these kids for protection. Because if not, then they'll be spending years of their life trying to correct their problems versus building wealth by investing and things like that. Because I tell them the story all the time. I was born in 85, right?
Okay.
And that's when Apple IPO'd, I think around $9 and some change.
Okay.
And if you if you had one share of Apple then, it's worth about $2 million right now.
Yeah.
$10. So I asked them, what's something that's new on the scene that kids love? Kids. They say Roblox. Like Roblox, right? It's like, yeah, my son loves Roblox. Little Max loves it. It's traded on the New York Stock Exchange.
Wow.
So think about how big that stock could be 20, 30 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now. Because Roblox isn't going anywhere. They're just going to keep getting better and better. It's free games on there, but you have to pay to get the extras. These kids will rather take Robux, which is the Roblox money, versus real cash. I love it. I don't knock it at all.
Yeah.
So I get them to think like, okay, you're buying those Balenciagas, but would you invest in Balenciaga? You know,
Good.
would you?
Good. Come on.
Do you want to look like you're wealthy or do you want to be wealthy?
Mm-hmm.
Is wealth really seen?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not. Like, it's not. And we go through all of those things. How to put clothes together. We do that too. You can go to PacSun and get some nice car. You can get a nice fit from PacSun for under $50. You don't got to wear off whites. You don't have to. Get you some nice dunks.
Mm-hmm.
Get a haircut, shower, get clean. Put on some cologne. Out the door. We good, right?
Right. Yeah. What do you think outside of maybe the family? What do you think it could be in our community? It could be what we watch that contributes to that mindset to spend our money wrong.
Definitely. Our influences.
Yeah.
These influencers, right? I want to be a YouTuber. I don't know why, but I just see them driving. I see them driving Lambos and all this other jazz, but definitely our influences. The social media is the best form of marketing right now. Mm-hmm. So you think about the people you follow on social media, artists, rappers, everybody's getting that Cybertruck and they're rapping it and all this good stuff. Athletes, those are the big influencers. And then you can buy, on Instagram, you can be whoever you want. Yeah. Let's be honest. Yeah. You can be whoever you want. So, you can come out on Instagram and you can get the prop money that we use in classrooms, but you can get the prop money you can flex on Instagram because it looks super real. And you can also get the fake diamond chains. You can put on a white t-shirt, get the fake diamond chains, get a fake bust down rollie, and you're good to go. Boom. Now you look like you got a whole lot of money.
Right.
The money phone, the money fans, and all that good stuff. I don't knock it. Yeah. I don't. I just want people to live inside out and not outside in.
All right. So Jason, from an economical perspective, where do you see Cleveland going in the future?
Cleveland is booming. And Cleveland is definitely a target for out of state and out of town investors. It is scary because Cleveland is expensive to us.
It's getting expensive too, but more expensive
to people from New York, LA, Miami, Chicago. Cleveland is cheap, and those are the investors that's coming into Cleveland. So, I love the West Side, the pocket of Ohio City and Tremont. I love it. But I also see what's happening on the east side, like in the Larchmere area and around Opportunity Corridor, where a lot of our residents are starting to be displaced, and they have already been displaced because of the effects of gentrification, which to me is a positive and it's a negative. It's a negative because it's displacing residents that are pillars in our community. It's a positive because, you see nicer places, nicer renovated buildings and properties in Cleveland, which to me is great. So I think from an economical and a community perspective, Cleveland is definitely on the rise because of that. A lot of money is being poured into our communities, and I love it. We just have to battle that by owning the land you live on. That is super important.
Owning the land you live on.
I think renting is a short-term. It should be a short-term thing.
Yeah.
Life happens. Life be lifing for all of us.
Yeah.
But we should have a plan. A financial plan, so we can literally own that property you live on, because all you're doing is making your landlord rich. And these landlords are being contacted by large investment companies. So do you think they're going to take slow money, which is the rent every month, take their piece off the top, put it in escrow, take their cut and put it in their pocket? Or are they going to take that lump sum payment and just move on?
Yeah.
And everybody wants to be a real estate investor now. Why is that? Because they know what's going on here in our communities. Think about it. Even in suburbs now, you start to see the transition. And it's tough because you have people that are not in that position to own a home. And they could be misinformed. They can be afraid. You fear the things you don't know. They may not be ready or may not think that they are ready to buy a home. But whatever that case is or whatever that symptom is, we definitely have to address it, because I want everyone to own the land that they live on, because that's one of the pieces of building generational wealth.
That's good. That's good. Now, what about you? What impact have your own organization had on you by seeing the lives that was changed, by the students receiving the information, by people just supporting you? What impact have Breadwinners Academy had on you?
A crazy impact on me. I will say that I'm walking in my purpose, and every day I get to wake up, I get to do this for a living.
Yeah.
And I've never been happy professionally before until the academy. For the most part of my life, I've always I wouldn't say been chasing money, but money has been the focal.
Okay.
Chasing that bag.
Yeah.
We've all had jobs where we worked for the weekend before. Just want to get to the weekend. Everybody's been there before. But now with the Academy, I work so much because this isn't work for me. Like, this is fun. Like, we're literally about to do a financial literacy rap battle.
Talk to me about the Decipher. Right?
The Cipher.
Yeah.
We got 5 students, and they come from different schools. And we're going to do it probably at East Tech.
Okay.
And we're going to do it either in their recording studio or in their gym. And these kids can rap.
Now, what's the purpose of it?
To bring awareness
Okay.
to financial literacy.
So they're rapping about financial literacy.
Or entrepreneurship. Yep.
Okay.
But they're not using financial literacy or entrepreneurship in their rap, but they're rapping about money.
Wow. Okay.
Hustling, making money. It just has to be, they can't rap about anything illegal.
Got it.
And they can't cuss because we don't do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is. These kids can rap. These kids can go. So I'm super excited. One thing we haven't landed on was the beat.
Okay.
We don't know what beat we want to use because the age gap
Okay. Yeah.
is different.
Yeah. What is the age range for the kids in your program?
So middle school to high school. So
Okay.
they run from, I'll say 12, 13 years old all the way up to 18.
Oh wow.
Some 19 in some of our schools because, like the alternative schools, kids be a little bit older. So it depended on where they are. But yeah, in those ages.
So is there any other programs or any activities that you have coming up that you would like to just share with the audience?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot in store.
Okay.
We have a lot in store. The one that's coming up next, we have a few coming up next. One is the Rap Cipher.
Right.
I can't wait. I just want to be a kid again. So I can't wait to do that. We're going to have a sneaker ball.
Okay.
I'm a sneakerhead. So
Me too.
we going so I'm inviting you because
All right. Yeah, I'm there.
we're going to plan it around Halloween. So we're going to be maxed up like the whole 9. It's going to be
Okay.
fire. But what's near and dear to me is from a community perspective is this home buying cohort that
Home buying cohort.
yes, it's going to be, it's a 9-month program. We're taking 20 first time home buyers and we're going to create a financial plan with them. We're going to be hands-on. We're going to create a financial plan. So we're going to be through saving and budgeting. We're going to get to know their numbers. We're going to do credit counseling. We're going to help them get their credit up to wherever they need to be to purchase a home and get the money from the government. We are going to introduce them to several realtors. They're going to pick their own. We're working with Erie Bank. They have a community home loan where it covers closing costs, no down payment, and a host of other things for them. We are literally going to get them to the point where they're going to be ready to purchase their first home.
Now, are these? That don't sound like a kid.
No,
What's that age?
adults,
Adults.
anyone that's ready to buy a house.
How would have you selected those individuals already?
Nope, we're still going through the process.
Okay.
We're gonna
How
start
would
it.
somebody know where to go, where to apply?
Yes, our website.
Okay.
On our website, and we are. It's going to roll out in January.
Okay.
So it's going to be on our website. We're going to have our sign up, and our goal is 20. If we get more, I'm not turning anyone away. So I don't care how we fund this. I don't care if we go over budget. Let me worry about that. I want them to be owners of their own home.
Is the program free for people to sign up?
100%. We don't charge.
100% free.
We don't charge 1 red cent
Come on.
to the community. Why would we do that?
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
Yeah.
So we reach out to our partners, our banking partners, our donors. We're going after grants as well, just so we can also assist with closing costs, just in case if for example the seller of the house, whatever case may be, and then Erie Bank also may assist as well. But we want to ensure that they don't have to worry about closing costs because that can be a couple $1,000s.
Yeah.
So I want you to use that couple grand to furnish your home.
Yeah. I don't know if you see this, but it's like really turning trial into triumph. You know what I'm saying? Because you went through these challenges in your early stages, and it's like the things that you're doing now, is this intentional? It's lining up with, I want to make sure that nobody have to experience what I did.
I think it's God, man.
Yeah.
I hate to say it. I don't hate to say it. I take that back. No,
Yeah.
I don't hate to say it. It's God. Sometimes at night, as my way for me to decompress, right?
Yeah.
I'll just walk around my neighborhood and these ideas just start coming into my head. And just me being a person that's not afraid to take that risk, take that risk. Whatever you think about, take the risk. If it failed, go back to the drawing board, figure out why it didn't work, and go right back out there and do it again. I learned that from my parents.
Yeah.
Remember the neighborhood fist fights?
Yep. Yep.
You may take an L, whatever, go back home, tell your people, they'll see you right back out there.
That's funny.
So It's those experiences. And
Yeah.
I just see so many of us get taken advantage of as a kid. Not like that, but taken advantage of financially.
Yeah.
From all the different things that goes on. And I draw on those experiences, and I'm never again, we have to do something. When is enough?
Gotta change.
So why not? If it doesn't work, oh well, I'm gonna figure it out, and I'm gonna go back to the drawing board, and I'm gonna do it again, and I'm gonna keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it until I perfect it, and then I'm gonna keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it because perfection doesn't really exist. It's something that we pursue, but it doesn't really exist, and that's part of the Mamba mentality.
Yes. Yeah.
One of my favorite books.
Now, what's this kind of a side question, but what is it, how important is your partnerships in general, but your partnership specifically with somebody with like a Erie Bank? Because I heard you mention them a few times. How has that partnership really helped bring your vision to life?
Man, it's Kevin Dixon over at Erie Bank.
Okay.
Kevin is my guy. And Kevin took a chance, a risk on me with my academy, and he gave us our very first donation. And he didn't know me from a can of paint, but we definitely connected. And when we connected, he really saw the passion and vision. So he definitely gave us, a donation for us to get started. So from there, it just kept growing and growing and growing. And also with Erie, they really have programs that are out there that really can help people. But when you think of Erie Bank, you think of, they're not really known here.
Exactly.
In Cleveland.
I don't know who Erie Bank is.
They're not really known here in Cleveland because they have 2 branches. Well, they have 3 branches now. They have one in Whitmere, Independence, or Seven Hills, and then they just opened up one at Crocker Park. So Erie Bank is amazing. Erie Bank also have a bank account for 16-year-olds where they can open that account without parental oversight, which is huge because some parents are in check systems. So this will give that student or that young adult an opportunity to open up their bank account. Also, you can't overdraw that bank account. That's my big thing. I don't like overdraft fees. Also, kids just see numbers.
Yeah.
Oh, well, just like Cash App. Oh, well, no, this isn't Cash App. This is a real bank account.
Yeah.
So things like that is super important. So aligning myself with organizations that believe in our mission and vision is important because that's how we're going to be able to reach more people and make a bigger impact.
Now, we touched a little bit about Cleveland and its economic direction potentially for the future. The name of the podcast is Keepin It Cleveland podcast. Make sure you tune in. What would you say is what does it mean to you to keep it Cleveland?
Oh, that's a good question.
Are you from Cleveland originally?
I am.
Okay.
From the land, man. I am from the land. Actually, I was born in Chicago.
Okay.
So
that's funny. I was born in Cleveland on my way to Chicago.
Yeah.
I grew up in Southside Chicago, and then I came back to Cleveland. It was rough.
Yeah,
there.
but yeah. South, yeah.
I had to come back home. I was getting in a lot of trouble, but yeah.
Yep. So I was born there, but I came here when I was young, maybe 5, 6 years old. So no, Cleveland raised me is my thing. So keeping in Cleveland for me is following your heart, following your passions, find your why.
Okay.
So for me, with keeping in Cleveland, I will say is figuring out what your why is and pursuing it with no regard. Take the risk. If it doesn't work, figure it out, but keep pursuing it.
That's great. That's great. Now, for the people that's watching or listening, what is some ways that whether it's organizations, people who's just inspired by your story to support Breadwinners Academy?
Yes, we're always looking for volunteers.
Okay.
If you want to come into the classroom, please come into the classroom. We don't use PowerPoints. We don't hire PowerPoints. Microsoft, I love you. No beef. I love you. But we don't want to hire PowerPoints because we feel that, you don't really engage with the students if you're just reading off slides. So it's very engaging and hands-on. So if you want to volunteer, we need volunteers. We want to bring the community into the classroom because that is the difference. They need to see you. They need to feel you. They need to know who you are.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a business in that community.
Yeah.
On the entrepreneurship side, these kids have so many great ideas, but they just don't know how to connect the dots. And going from idea to business plan to execution requires 3 different people. You're going to go through every range of emotion trying to execute your vision. And you're going to have your highs, your lows, and you need that support from people that's been there before. So
for sure,
that's our call to action. We need and love volunteers. And of course, donations help. Donations go a very long way. It supports our programming, and they can be restricted to strictly our programming. I would absolutely love that. We have so many ideas, and we're just trying to get them funded.
And if somebody wanted to donate, whether it's your time or donate some money, where should they go?
Oh, breadwinnersacademy.org.
Breadwinnersacademy.org.
You can follow us on LinkedIn, Breadwinners Academy, Facebook, Breadwinners Academy, and Instagram, Breadwinners Academy CLE. Somebody took Breadwinners Academy on Instagram. It's weird.
Did they?
Yeah. Like, what?
And they probably paint or something.
I don't know.
Something random.
I trademarked the name.
Okay.
But that's another conversation.
So breadwinnersacademies.org. If you wanna support in any other way, whether it's your time, some donations, and make sure that if you that person is interested in what is it, the housing program? What's the official name?
Yes, that's the official name. It's the home buying cohort.
Home buying cohort, and this is for adults. So starting in January 1st, make sure to go to Breadwinners Academy. Jason, thank you for being on the podcast, man.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you for the opportunity.
For sure. So if you're listening to this, I want you to make sure that you like, subscribe, follow, do all the things that you're supposed to do on these different platforms to make sure that you're following our journey, and make sure to keep it Cleveland. We out.